This is the same City backline that Sarah Bournemouth here on Sunday. Phil Foden is back in the Champions League lineup, as is Gianni Reinders. That's who helps supply the ammunition for Erling Haaland. Counting the side at Liga against the club when he spent 3 years before he moved there to Manchester City. That's tonight's referee. Anything else from Poland? Szymon Marzyniak. Those wearing the armband say we'll have a battle royale tonight. Nutra Schlotterberg, the captain of Borussia Dortmund, and Erling Haaland wearing the armband at Manchester City. Well, Dortmund coach Dieter Tervath sends that out of the side that started that win at Copenhagen on match day 3. Nutra Schlotterberg missed out in the Bundesliga of the weekend. There's good to go here. Julian Maria said that former Manchester United midfielder Marcel Sabitzer had dropped in, so no start for Joe Bennigan on his return to England. And with Julian Pratt not making the journey to England, his international teammate Kerim Adeyemi is back in the Champions League starting 11. Sergio Guirassy will spare the attack pressure and scoring the winner in the Bundesliga against Augsburg at the weekend. Well, the question is a simple one. Not many, but the red can Borussia Dortmund steering it up and keep this man quiet tonight. Well, let me shut the back to a really good game. Well, Hemslow offside in Benzema needs a back three that have got better with the pace. A lot of aggression. There's the threat for Borussia Dortmund. Yeah, that's it. They also needs had a really good game up against the likes of Stones and Vardiod. The view when it did the sounds of the Etihad at a EuropeanNight. A place at Dortmund, Milan, a place where Manchester City haven't lost a group stage only thanks game to 8 years. And the third close side in the Bundesliga get us underway in there, recognizing our Johan Buck. And their lead on has been a little bit conservative. They're dealt in, had no wins, including an Augsburg at the weekend, been in the Champions League. Well, Sergio spelled in every match thus far, but they have to continue at. Sorinho has Trumi to deal with, and it's kept alive. Do you not see it? That just Sabitzer. Love the ball out, Tom. Adeyemi. A young German international. Made noise coming through the away section in particular in these early stages. Maximilian Bia. Confidence south of the Journalists on reality days, albeit Maximilian Bia. Guardiola is there to foist it up and away in the direction of Harvard. Sabitzer. Guirassy was in an offside position. Dupuis in the spin away him. Yeah, just to see on the bench. As you said, very good start. For Borussia Dortmund. Trying to keep possession, getting their wing backs very high up the field. Watch out for Medchen. And that's centre midfield, number 8 for Borussia Dortmund. He's been in great fun recently. Style, a couple of belting goals there down the start. To an argument match day 3, all-star match 7 against Juventus 3-3 and the UEFA Champions League so far for the German international. Here he is on the DortmundMatch. Daniel might have a point to prove. He was a Manchester City player for 3 years. Never made in a terrorist form, but never felt he got a fair crack for the whip. Amy just look at the assistant. They knew he was going to put his flag up, the assistant. Just made his run a fraction too early, did he? No, he didn't. So really good ball by Schlotterbeck, got a great left foot into the middle centre back. So hard to predict which way this one is going to go. It's not the capacity really to be anything here tonight if Dortmund keep up that record of banging headphone goals to go, and that's going to be interesting on the flip side. But Manchester City clear count, owning hard and fast. They are close to unstoppable. Aston recently away from Nine, and Aston Villa in the Premier League domestically, but they go back to winning ways against Bournemouth at the weekend. One of the saddest resume. And I think pushes his space pretty well. This is Maximilian Biel starting out on the left-hand side to Mechan. Sabitzer knows his way around this city after those followed by München at Manchester United. Rangy pass from the back, but a little too much on that to Biel to bring it under his spell. This interesting what Pervatu's doing down this left-hand side. He's going that little bit wider. Then Svensson, the left wing back, is trying to make rounds through the inside left position. Just pulls in Man City 1 or 2 pings so far. He's had a good spell, but Dortmund since taken over by much of a set of space at the top of the Bundesliga. They have at the top of the UEFA Champions League phase table. Impressive win away in the French capital at the Parc des Princes last night sees that maintain 100% miracle, but they're touched by solid and occasionally spectacular. Guardiola wants a little more consistency from his side. Maggio would have been 3 wins out of 3 for them. Barcelona and late equaliser at Monaco. Is Girassi, Maguire. He'll settle for the throw. Set up to the ninth throw. And the image of some light. Hollander wants to get it out. There yet be again. Slightly on the cross. Here's the Dortmund captain. Short the back of his 4th season at the top. Miami. Guardiola to meet it. And then her chance for Manchester City to get that. Well, it does. Connecting from Sevilla. No Trinity Doku. Oh, then maybe bring it to position in the middle. All right, Dotters. Good down for Betzel from Radis as well. Yeah, that was the pass he was looking for on. Jeremy Doku. Moinder started it off. Switching the play out to the left-hand side, and that makes a really good, strong run. I think Doku was looking for that. Doku's not playing quite as wide as he sometimes does in recent weeks. Same can be said about Savinho. It's a very narrow midfield thought for Man City at times. Girassi. The matcher has worked it out to Bayern. So to bed. Two down tension. How did that Girassi? It would have been quite the pass. Mantello varied by Rami Bansebani. Came to try to steal, but not too much of out to Liverpool. But it's good to see the Dortmund are going to turn on the front foot. Svensson, the left wing back, was pressing a little high up the field, and Bansebani, the left side, he centre half, went out wide against Sarania. He did that in the second half, and good Classico, where they played much better than they did in the first half, but they were too defensive. But he did say last time, the Kovac has her points soon back across Soka because they will destroy us. We're going to have to depend by being on the sunset. And it's certainly been true to his word in the opening stages here. And he said that this are the Classic. As Mike Tyson famously once said, everyone has a plan till you get punched in the face. Dortmund looking to the first blow rip by working into the USC. Nearly by John Hopkins. Sabits are also in close attendance. That's going to be a good battle on the far side. Dortmund. They'll get Teresa. Low intercepted. The Aiden has been a good friend as well this season. Got it on his right foot. Nicely to cut back, but one intercepted by Nico Gonzalez. Sorinho. One of the factors that I thought the other was highlighting, and he was speaking under this match, was the difference in preparation times. But these two sides of the more David among Lucas Manchester City third and second day. Patepa caused a little bit of concern that the back deck that soccer back took responsibility of tugging it. Lives a bit rather from under the Bulls. Slightly late and arrived into him then O'Reilly. They played him on Sunday, Manchester City against Bournemouth. Here we are, ManCityVsDortmund down. We actually get his players a day off. They trained to Sterling. And there's all build up to bat to what they tend to do. Pierce flowed up and got over about one. And so third back range, it's hoisted over the top. First time Madrid got Champion has been called into action. He's going to actually sit this out on the bow. Certainly not pushing out into a tight this area. Good play by Sevilla. You can see him is offside. And he's been okay voting the score, but not so assistant absolutely right to put his flag up. But a good effort from Schulthod. Who had attempted the season last year, but is showing size as he's been satisfied to full Genesis. Who's done a rediscover the club to marry the player of the team in England a couple of seasons back as Manchester City won the finals. Perennially exciting and about. Second they set at the moment in the Premier League. A little bit off the pace being set by Arsenal, who've started so impressively. Seeing it run offside. So Yemi will seek to do it himself. John taps on by Mateus Nunes. Bayer couldn't come forward. So City up towards Haaland. Nice early pass to this one. A really good early punch going. Atmosphere inside the stadium as well. And Dortmund have looked the better seat in the first 10-11 minutes. Another good run from Adeyemi, who's playing wide on that right hand side. Savage South, in the feed out of the Yermia down. O'Reilly scored the third goal against Plymouth at the weekend, very much in defensive mode. They have him nothing zero. It's not often he's teamed up, going 8 in the early possession. They like to control the game. It's not been the case so far. There we touched on the unusual bit on the Manchester City of that. Compared to what they tend to air, the rest of Dortmund able to make 5 changes to the side that saw Ausberg Bay played on Friday. So 2 extra days of preparation will be out there. Had to travel well, wait for her to this one. Then it is ready now. Nico Kovacic for Dortmund, just the one defeat so far this season. Coming in Der Klassiker, unbeaten in the Champions League so far. And should really, like Manchester City, have a 100% record. Then were picked off late on. Couple of late goals ensured by Juventus. Knows they only dropped points on MatchDay 1. The free kick here, he's done well so far. And they've played another damage from back to front where he's trying to get on it. So there he just right. Stamp on his not intentional by the old. But he's a player that does like well, he can hold the player. He's put in the back as well. Gielesi. That's a remit on the draft. I'm sure to say the visitors have never the ball, but that's exactly what Dortmund have had thus far. It's not rocker, yeah, or is it? There's a lot of them. Yes, Jareth, it's put to a great straw yellow all assembled in the corner of the Etihad. Always, whenever there's a ground, you should go and whoop something like that. It is Borussia Dortmund's ground. Superb atmosphere. Crowd gets into the stadium. But out before the game. It's another wonders of European football. It's the hour Sabinho, and not sorry, got that behind Daniel Svensson. Into the boot he goes. I think it's the right decision. It was a covered defender. Sabinho would have been going to World's goal, but the defender, quarterback, I think would have got there. And that's why a red card wasn't given. One was beat quite easily for place there. Smithson. About 15 minutes of this match is on the time road now. The necessary to Shintan's on. So, I just had the two most interested parties here. So, got a test of the dribble. Not tested enough, really, was he, by that free kick? Hit a little bit half-heartedly. Trouble now, the full-time Swiss international number one, definitely retirement of Jan Son. Concentrates on his cuts up boy. It's into Milan summer, so the stage is now closed for the Swiss national side as it is for Borussia Dortmund. So I'm looking for his first clean sheet in this season's league phase of the UEFA Champions League. No way forward there. Fuck that, Yemi. Docker, away from ManCityMatch. Out to Sabinho. Of Svensson till ManchesterCity. It's Brett Spidey that went out to Sabinho. Svensson and covering on the inside. O'Reilly is a threat in the air. The left butt. Down much a zonal setup and a German setup. Gielesi was back, but if it comes, hard thought about it. And he's been a success, I would say, to Man City, Riders. So, free kick that was headed away by Gielesi to start with. I think he was going for goal rather than crossing it. But he's certainly playing well. Won the bet winning a look. That spell up Mila. Bio slotted right in, started so well with a goal and an assist on his debut at Moose. There's done to the rotation. Not saying that ManchesterCity reply now with their suggested schedule at most Champions League sides up in Premier League. tipped away by Shot Stones is ready on the halfway line. University. USC now wearing. Volley docking on Nico Gonzalez, but the Spaniard prevailed. And Savinho. Opening up that Sabanu. The back to them at the sweats of a free kick. He's causing some problems out there, that's right. Fiercely Savinho. He is. And still look at that over the space because she said Spitzer's going further upfield, almost certainly, so at left position when they built the pair. And then Spencer Bailey took a long way to come out to confront him. I think confront him particularly well on that occasion. Advantage played by on the Strat Florida and Nico Riley 6 to make it count. Behind us to Doctor. Gonzalez gave out everything. They'll come to Dortmund. But there's concern over the stricken Dortmund, the player, and the flag is up anyway. Not going his way at the moment, I won't say, but Guardiola. Frustration what he's seen in this first year of the game. There's the run from Ryan as you were talking about. Sets the play up nicely. It was easily blocked. You can see how he was just offside. Etihad a relatively familiar destination for Borussia Dortmund. This is the third time they've been there on Champions League business. No good first win. First time they came here was back in 2012. Manchester City were Premier League champions for the first time after that Aguero moment. John Hopkins was the Manchester City goalkeeper and prepared from Lawrence. And they were the 1-4 and 8 penalties then. Mario Balotelli. That was the Borussia Dortmund side on the Jurgen side that had all those start-outs good. Stern Lewandowski went on to reach the final. To be beaten by Munich. 1997, the only time they got their hands on the trophy, and the Rotswell Hitzfeld. Manchester City also on-time European champions. I don't know, so 2023 in Istanbul, they're going to sit to the lab. Still from Finney's potential, I would say, but Borussia Dortmund playing in. There's a stop there. The Pittsburgh really diet consistently. Second season now. Tends to move the search from Offenheim. Sangren. Shane Savinho. Real promise for Manchester City. I'm looking at typing top July about more. I was by Julian Andreasen. How it has kept it alive. Duadio. Mito Gonzalez. Mateus Nunes. Sides of Manchester City just starting to turn on to that task. Dortmund starting to pop to space. Wow, that's the open. Vintage Joe what a classy finish from the Manchester City man to get them today. Manchester City on Borussia Dortmund now. He just finds that little pocket of space. And he's got such a good left foot for short, only when he hit it with power. And that was easily saved by Curva. That time, he just almost passes it into the corner. And that's the role he's playing, really. He's middle of the midfield is free, but he has got the license just to drift closer to penalty hard. Gets in between players. Ben Spady stops to cut out wide. Nobody can close him down. Maybe let the back can get out that you a bit quicker. Doesn't do so. It's on the back field. I'm hurried to the finish. No shot really for Curtis. Against the better play to a certain degree. Man City got none there. Everyone knows caresses it hard, doesn't he? Fell authority. Times for its autograph as well. And despite optimism that the start has driven them to Dortmund find themselves trailing here just past the halfway point of this first half. And they sent there. They went to themselves with Dortmund. Just goes sits here for a bit. Dortmund wide this one out. They could be blown away. Guardian over the top. Line this went for it. So true. Garbo connected her quite Odin. Bush Lodder. Hello, yeah, maybe. Right, this is still the City fans were played ball too old. And given that there is the potential side and the danger to do, yeah. The plan is referees having to take the chance down. Me, I thought behind us. Didn't get there first. The goalkeeper gets there first. Nothing wrong with that. It's a good challenge by both players. I don't think Winders could see the goalkeeper coming. The goalkeeper didn't lift his leg, just didn't try and make connection with Winders first. He went down. Good challenge. Good refereeing. There was a Volpred landing that had a possibility about it. A mouse to one. So we're through. They're wearing on the side of torsion. Yes, they're going to just hang on for the lower door, and I think I also got to make a decision about what they're doing. There's Svitz and maybe going to see Svitz and Honey for everything. Set the forward position out of coaching. Then they wanted to round the way back to the kind of left wing back. And that's why he needs the kind in Svitz. That's a great example of it. Slovenia has got the on saw the back to the stretched. Well, they've toughened on to that boy, haven't they, Manchester City? No doubt about that. Just what Spencer is liking around. Now he's going to have to change direction because they've lost position. Mancha. Sabit Safa. I mean. Let's say uncles of the Declaration of International Divider. He's done a very good job. Dortmund just stabilised them towards the end of our season. Have a fairly decent start this season. They never seem to return far away from a drama. Dermay otherwise from the stadium, but it's been steady at the start of this season. There's more. They need more. There has been more stability in their play and their formation and better defensive side, particularly in the Bundesliga. It's an RB signal really added up Borussia Dortmund Bayern Munchen a little further away in the distance. Times. Madasars. Five minutes up. Trent Brego trouble. Terra Devire Ronnie. Well, that's what Erling Hahn can do. And he gets involved in the play. He's always getting involved in the play enough, there he's picked up the ball. Light shrink. Who really dig pass as well. And remember, that's the left back. In the centre forward position, I like all the penalty spot. Start behind it and stretch it rather than pass it into the corner. Well, we all think that Haaland, the scorer, very nearly saw Haaland the creator there. has to have a corner foot side though, where it's Foden will take. So what to back that Bajan. Behind Ghosts. And stooging back is Mateus Nunes. Sabinho, Tanalado, Nathan Sebaini. Little deflection made it. Periol puts it trouble. He did well. Storming out on it. But Doku comes. The summit and some idea middle needed to just say storm at top. But the Luzino team needed to about the fillers. Did Pensado second for Manchester City. Control of the match in the first half hour. Well, there'll be an assist for Doctrine. And it was all started again by Savinho down his right hand side. Up against Ben Sabaini. He shows to the outside, he takes it. Took a slight question. Kerber could he have done better? Maybe not. But when Doppy goes here, Caltarius far too easily. Took goal in the backs. And there was never any doubt where this was going. Through its right. And Manchester City in a correct position now. His 32nd Champions League goal and his 31st down against the club where he scored 86 goals in 89 games. So how to be out. Definitely might need to arrive and a little bit of respite on that in yellow and black. Well, it's been a good last 10 minutes, isn't it, for Manchester City? Good direct possession at the beginning of the game. They started to do that. Their time had ran in on, like you see when they break forward. Photo finding Pepita's place going forward. And the two new players started to get the better of the two defenders. Sabine, negatively dominated by Garassi, and is fouled by Rabiot. And Sabine, Naya, Sabitzer. Started to for Manchester City with enough for these compact to the centre that small heavy ambitions the Dortmund have of finding a way through. Yeah, PRC just catch him a bit. Oh, but he starts showing. He might get a bit of trouble here. As soon as you're going, it starts showing. Miss the ball and then go right down the shit at Doku. That's a strange challenge. Sweaty naughty one from Gulassi. Match free up cross to the VAR hot seat to decide whether there should be any further action because of that. Not to be reckless or to be in danger an opponent. And that's what he needs to decide. And that's what he has decided. Might have shot, but look for USC. Dobson shots. Merchant side, the free kick has gone the way of the outside. And on the right side, it's set the back. Soden. Soden goes pretty well out. Sibadandra Sibinia. It's an injection of pace. Sorry, I guess it's a jaw card. But now the counter trending on the identical target. Yeah, great Susapelli to Phil forward. Savino, had a lot of space to run into. I'm not sure that Vineyard's run was a particularly good one, but it felt nicely to ride this. It's also a good save from Kerbal. Nice height for it. Really worked up to the halfway line by Dortmund. That EtihadStadium. And so double sub out of the bag and away it goes. Kind of play. Looked a fairly easy pass as well, didn't it? Just rolling it out to Bayer. 1v1. Leaving it be. Out of space to hit this pass, and he gets him on. They're taking the press well as well, haven't they? Yes, another look at how challenged. Doesn't look any better with repeated viewing, does it? It doesn't. I don't think there's too much intention, but it's a poor challenge to go with your stats. Should be jigged over the inside of his foot there. Probably got away with one there. Doku. Just a return to play. City in control. And looking to become even more so with Savigno. Bayer. Once again, go wide. Nunez wanted to make that rub. Savino's done well in the 1v1 situations, going down the outside, and he's just blocked the hook. Various looks is in a bit of trouble here. Oh, they've got the Brazilian right backyard and Tulatola to come on. Diff required in that position. I like to stop him. There was one of those who started the last match who hoped to easily come on and finish this one should the need arise. Oh, I might think down, substantially down at the moment because there's 2 goals in the space of 7 minutes from Soden and Nedsim Arlet. But he wouldn't know how to touch him out, and always coming to the away end, which is excellent. Misses on a led to his problem, so Riason. He's visited a couple of fouls himself. Just out of a stretch, maybe. Threats him to try and kick off. It's more than the convince. Yes, this last goal. No, he said, to Alex finding his best form again. And here's the second one. Clarin, tucked in early arms, left foot, right finish. Oh, that's great to have Phil Sheridan scoring again in the Champions League for Manchester City. That's his first Champions League goal of this season. Part out by Svensson, who was on his way back from their central forward run, but he's passed to play. Cut by Stones. And his 18th Manchester City goal of the season, by the way. His 27th for club and country in 17 games. Sent a pass component to find out Ireland. Hard to try to buy. But he couldn't get on the enemy. Yeah, the dive sound just had a bit too much on it, took him wide. Decided not to take off, Schwarzenbeck, just bend it into a good area. And Riley coming right at the back. Dr. to that. Oh, he doesn't make contact. He's in a very deep position. Although he did make contact. I might not have had many chances, but now I don't in this Dortmund team. They just need to make sure that have the talent and relevance by City another one before the break. Started with the City tournament. Do I see controlling the near post effectively? Then by Soda. Ademi. That's about Ademi. The forces the center from Himula. First time the Italian in the Manchester City goal has been worked publicly tonight. It's the first time I've had to mention him as well. Good play, Ademi. That's what he can do. And match shot. And by a on-foot spinning one that Clowney all took control of initially. And the Stones spotted the pass through to Dalter and didn't find a touch required. Had a Chad Dortmund find of Ruth Ackett, and that's before half time. Then by Savitsa. He has that ball went back to Savitsa, already played it in. Kinesi made his run and Man City just stepped up. Kinesi would have been offside. Here's the strike from Ademi. A good one and a decent save from Donnarumma. Might have Thomas through one of the two players. Donnarumma, champ history went out with his former club Paris Saint-Germain, looking to go back to back with his new one. 2 clean sheets in the opening 3 match days. Another one, and there'll be another win. The sad win in Seoul dares for Manchester City. Both these sides on 7 points. So the kickoff here at the Etihad tonight, it was Borussia Dortmund ahead of City, trying to see a goal difference. Sitting on the side, 3 players should the scoreline stay like this. Victor Mali. Hadiel doing the Mortis ballot centre after night with Ruben Diaz again on the bench to Tasha for EtihadStadium for Dortmund. Mel Werner, not you. It's on. Bayer goes setting up. That's Sebaini, Svensson. Stuart back. They sum it up for Dortmund and they seek to enter well. But that's overhead, turned it on our running. Oh, Man City took a liberty there, trying to play it from the back. West sprinting shoot out the ball. Butler could throw it. Stones, of course, are going away. Bayer. Sabitzer. Anton. Ademi. Valdemar Abton. May turn that from Daxavinian Bun. It's both of up by the Togar Soundists. I think that sub is up well seen from Bond. over the course of his season. A moment of really good play, followed by a claw pass. So Sabinho, but Svensson here has been, but remember, Sabinho hard on it. And that's how it was. Spencer was back in the 1v1. Gunn played across the Harden. They've really set himself. That's why he's pulled the face upon. An easy save for Curlin. He did have a pass out to Doku, but things are going to turn down the shot. Now the goal against his former club. Remember that extraordinary acrobatic one he got here a couple of seasons back by Harston's German. Talked about him at times being unplayable. Now when he gets into the front areas, he was exactly the same at Dortmund. But something was say, in general play, he was almost better at Dortmund than he had been at Man City in general play. Others felt weights on the bench. The Manchester City should tap down now and feel the need to make a change. Watery is sorry to have just behind. He's not involved tonight. Was Gonzalez, the player playing in his position. It's compatriot. I said that ball about 7 or 8 times now. Sure to be absolutely imperfect. Toyota to Sabitzer. Sabinho. It's on the boot. Decisive goalkeeping, no third goal job, but who was out? Hosad was good position by Schwarzenbeck. He started to run backwards. He knew the ball was going to be played in behind him. Just watch here. He knows he's going to be the place beat. Just gets his body across Harlan. Made it easier for Kermit. More often than not, when Alma gets in a position like that, it will take 2 or at least 2 to keep them quiet. They did the job there. So, 1 into the 2 minutes of every time now. Like this. Oh, here's Doku. Gap might open up for Doku. My third ball was out waiting. Des Nunez, Sabinho, they almost seemed a little surprised Manchester City by the spirits of Borussia Dortmund's start to the match, but as soon as they come to grips with things, they have taken a firm control of this one, haven't they? Yeah, that first 10 minutes, Dortmund's play some good football. They played in between the lines of Man City. Svensson's found that bit of space. Soon to Mecha. The 80 was coming in field. There's Diarasi. Sends a well like a Manchester City goal. But when you look at the charges that have been had by both sides, Man City are in control in this first 45 minutes. And the Stormline, you tell you the same. And that Final pep talk for Tiani Reinders as he makes his way out along with his Manchester City teammates. But they've got the other side find themselves exactly where they want to be, courtesy of a couple of lovely moments. Erling Haaland, of course, with another goal and 5 successive Champions League games in which he has scored. That added to the opener from the still Fogi, who stroked in a beautiful opener from 22 minutes. So it's awesome, but mountainous anyway for the side from the Bundesliga has stopped a whole load more difficult. No signs of any half-time substitutions, so it will be as we were from the start. Now Manchester City get this second period underway. Looking comfortable with that 2-goal pusher. Question is, Stuart, how do Dortmund get Manchester City out about comfort zone? Boy, going to be another threat in the counter-attacks. I think they're going to go back to how they started the game, where they got the ball forward quite quickly. And the goalkeeper put it into Giras, the other player supported it. And then play from there. This is another point. Man City with it into there is made it the Royal threat. There's been good taste from Savinho and Drucken. And this man is one behind us. Oh, this has one assist already. And the Denmark Scholler goal that was saved. This is Savinho. And dominant action in the opening seconds of the second half. Done by Doctor. Bayer to bring it out to Glenman. USC, Mecha. They could do it again, featuring a little now dominantly. Maya pressurized by Mateus Nunes. Swenson. Yeah, so swing. Done a swing and a miss. Said Styles. No wide. No, Kroger made a good side head. Sevilla going down the outside again. Surely has got a right foot as well. Trying to go. Stats I heard that Svensson's done hard in, and any other player in the Bundesliga. See, I guess everyone from left wing back to centre forward and then get himself back down. Can't always get back into the left wing back position. Sometimes has to go in as a midfield player or a third centre half. They're surprised him he lost the 90. Whether it be a substitution or the fact that he has been worked to his door. Savinho running at him. This is Curry for purpose to Nunez. Sent it by fair means, says the Polish referee. Surin shooting outside, but Nunez gave as good as he got that. He take it a bigger touch. Take it beyond the shot event. You might have been him. Next round in this contest, and you feel that will be one and have an early bite on. MatchDay, swept in by Savitsa. I spent some fun to get that, but minus it showing you should. Guardian. Listen, well before start to the current moment, and you would think we'll be able to finish the way it's going. The Dortmund fans into my regard. Terrific vocal backdrop to this match in which Manchester City find themselves in a very comfortable position. Topping decision here, Dortmund. Guardiola in. Not on its way by Sabini. Sorry on the score of City's first. Gamadio. Savino toying with Spencer again. That's Sabini. A confirmation that Man City had had the majority of the play, the minute assists. Strong attempt. Well, they've had their moments in the match for Borussia Dortmund. Strong start to the first half, relatively strong finish. I know every shot forcing this state from Dortmund brother, but they need more environments. Not easy with the Manchester City side, and usually find a way in these league. There is Dennis Sabino. The attention at post remain. Svensson and Betsabani took it in behind for a corner. Well, Betsabani and Svensson are both showing Sabino at the outside, and he's willing to take it. I know they don't want him to come back on his left foot, but he's showing him ready. He can press it with his right leg, he can shoot with his right leg, and he's got the place to go beyond them. They might have to then rethink. Foden with the City corner. Turn over right at that near post area for Manchester City. Yeah, actually, so got a contact. Just needs to let that skim off his forehead. Remember the two punts. Ted behind us. What is an experience of Bundesliga during his comparatively short-lived spell, and have been sick at the start of last season. And two brothers, the two co-match pilots. So they're going to get some of the substitutions. Change the tactics. New rethink here. When they open to players on the bench, or certainly to the players on the bench who have experience of playing against Manchester City or Spurs, I think you're stood for. And they made this sort of cut down time and very the tactics drop there. The third play looks at the enemy might get away. Ronnie was high up the field. By the other, he kept left, but his head got across quickly. Maybe back to the experience. We've got Pascal Gross, the experienced German, who had 6 seasons in the Premier League with Blighty. Delicious turn that is should go to. Now it's Riders. Sabino. Still Sabino to Foden. And down to Dortmund, but the referee had to stop play. What is he? Well, the Man City tyres are all of us waiting for it. That's where they passed it backwards and square where he stopped. There was Savino that was running with the blue, and he just overrun it. They want to be. That must have just put him out. Yeah, so yeah, they might have been it. So yeah, there's Haaland. Ladu Tanwood. I don't do it. This is Dortmund. That takes a shot. I don't think he was going to shoot as well. But no, but done around the corner up inside with it. There's the return pass. Doppy was saving himself up to get a shot away. And Haaland took it up and get on in the first half. Give the hand in it as hard as he could have done. That's Alster terminal show. There we go. That'll be a sun down the Dortmund right side. Norwegian international team in the bowling Haaland series. Was son about the sled of the big man. And those good no there these days. His has to be said. And the plan appears to be being hatched by the brothers Kovac. They're surviving. Tipping his closure under pressure from Haaland. What's that one? City sees on over blinders to Haaland. Dortmund. He called down Zellers. He took that and it clicked it to Fangen. And another sumptuous charge hits Foden. Let's out to Manchester City, a second to tell Foden. We're selling all the sunlight. He has shot it to the very teeth of his towers. I think this goal, what you see, is better than the first. First goal, he just done that bit of space and had room to get his shot away. This time, he has to manipulate the ball. I don't find that bit of space. This is where Dortmund they might have had a free kick. Savinho. I wouldn't say he was going for the ball. It's saying he's in the face. Then Savinho was the chest. Clearly, they've been given as a foul. When the ball covers the opponent, it doesn't look as though there's much on. Takes a good touch. And exactly the same sort of finish. This time with a bit of whip on it. A very good finish. Could swat a bat and got out there over Wickham, maybe so. Certainly the goalkeeper had no shot to that one. They all have to so direct the dancing feet. The magical touch of Phil Foden. That beaming smile. That should be enough for Manchester City. As we tossed on the Dortmund, the two Dortmund goals again in the Champions League so far. Good time seeing them during man here and now in the Renati, 33 minutes plus added time. Not the way this match has been going. Heard Ben Simone not try to make more of that challenge on the far side. I think he might have got a free kick. The fact he tried to hold in his face when he missed it. Actually hit there. Weren't really on him not to get the free kick. And Thorin, tip advantage, pro fish. With any skill of 2 goals this season coming into this, he's doubled this season, Starling. Not a chance. That hear me. Dortmund. Soda. Chip that out, puck tucked away for City. Jota back across to Cullen. It's usually pretty tight, black map. These two have met. 3 City wins hard for Dortmund. Neither side has ever won by a single goal match it in the UEFA Champions League. The last 3 City wins all but 2-1 Stormlight. All ever happened in another held at Alex. Not going to be the case here. Doctor goes down. There he is and looks the pass to the Palace referee. That should be out a little bit, obviously. He said it did a go mid. It's been squared up on a couple of occasions by Doku. Doku's confidence is very high now. It's been a tough game for what reason. Not that and time for 0 out time for us Dortmund. Dotto, Soban, Haaland, Soda, far out, check up Doss, Down there really started to plan it. How about just hitting? Oh, this might take league, unfortunately, for Serino. Shears comes up the outside of his move for the chop part. He's focusing, leans away from it. Soldier don't quite go for goal himself, but he just lifts it to that far post. Suit comes up the chop part of his move. Lovely play. And Foden, Docky and Paul linking up with each other. Docker. Odin. Doctor. Where's something else? Rinse will be back. Well, Kirasi can't on, I guess, on the gut. This is Svensson. So I said, plus the place of gone up and there come those shortages. Maybe a little bit too late now. Bellingham, Malaysia, 200 coming on. It's like Chavi Chakram after is ready as well. The experience at the Premier League with Chelsea and Dortmund started, so he must have the second league's a little bit too late, doesn't it? There are still 27 minutes left of normal time. Stable Dortmund and bolting horses spring to mind at that. Adeyemi. So that's all. Has come to give us a there's Jimson. Western at the top. He thought that was a touch or studies that around the time much it up between it. Yeah, you want it up. And then, oh yeah, Nico got let us get hold his left. Schmidt as he takes the shot, stows the player that gets the DortmundMatch. Can they get something from this set play? And Chavez out there, Schmotterbeck. Kirasi. But total change in the offing after this set piece. Nilsson with the downward corner. Stones out of it. Svensson back to Riz. Dona. Now, there's always going to be news. The Manchester going to sing on the buried side. Do I see now? No offside flash. But now where they pass, Dortmund green on like. Just a bit contact, saying from Man City, Claudio could have played it forward, didn't. Played it into Doku, it was very tightly marked. They played it into him right in the Dibble pen away. US he gets it. There's no really another option that's try to shoot, and it's a good save. I think Donnarumma just tries to go for the power. Just about gets the top part of his arm on it. Blow the spell of Dortmund pressure. Risa with the corner. Miss it by slaughter backs. No recovery in the nick of time, otherwise City would have been away. Abshot. Here come the changes. Well, Sabbats are up. And Pascal Grassane to his place. Does look like it's going to be a particularly happy return to Manchester to the Austrian international. They're also coming across to this near side. And the joke batting up will be sent on. But is even thought at with Flawn. Give us the Vincent Baini by Sabitzer. Schaffer make a charm, family of that Peros then set on. Then you said success June. And he looks as though he's going to play through the middle, maybe a little bit more. Tartu. That's the body off. He then playing with the back four now. Another look at that's Borussia Dortmund. And the chair will shoot in between the two centre backs at times. Well, he does. Then touch into midfield. Here he is on the ball. There we want to know instead it's true. Now, yeah, yes, it's Shuttle. That's so true. There's must have been the second half for Borussia Dortmund. No, limited mean flight lap nation. She tries to go back into that near post area. Beats Stones with a shot, but not the post. Look better. It's been a good 5-minute spell. 6-minute spell for Dortmund. It's strikes from another. It's Rose. Emery shot to the deck. Being advised to punt Brunet. So to speak. And he's grabbing out one of the arm and Fenray Jed. The opportunity to speak to him, Jed, who he wants. And what they talk about, did you realise he was going to be a top-class player when he first arrived? He said no, because he was terrible in training. Has he done that? Huh? Not over complimentary about Belly either. That's right, there's Dalton. That's Master halfway point in the second half. Turnfell third and goals, Marshall Madding Haaland. Manchester well positioned to claim the 3 points. And third win. Third Champions League matches. So who's chords? It was Nature, the player that called him. Just firm. Actually, Photo left the foot out. Nature just right into it. Still a free kick, but no blame at actually. So Dortmund's number 8. Right as to take. Sounds and Valiol trying hard. Just too high for Ahmed. And Kirtle did well to keep his eye on it. Yeah, Harman probably just offside. There's a little push in there as well. I think that's what the referee saw. Last but Tubby's going to has improved at City, which he didn't have when he was at Dortmund, is his headed ability. So they make that by Guardiola as he took the ball away. Certainly doesn't want any injuries now. Guardiola. He's always going to be okay. Guardiola. Now that excellent signing he's been. And he's played at left back, but he's played as a centre up. He's been superb at times. It's had those spells of scoring really important goals from it as well. That's neat. Oh, look, I'm not my dining offense. Switched off by the centre half in the position of the centre forward. And they're only flying for Dortmund going trying to play it. You're absolutely right. Right ball flag it in. And that's what he went this week. The hide. I think he's just behind the ball, so he's on Jay. What a good finish. Just uses the pace of the grocery race inside of his left foot. It's beyond the rubber before he could move almost. This is a superb finish. And they back in it. First was asked by Shannon Origi, Donnarumma, that be mode. Clean sheets and ID, but at Manchester City too. Down across the line, as you'd still expect them to do. Just give a goal with a little bit of encouragement though. Tom Wendes, first Champions League goal of the season. His first in any competition since he scored on MatchDay one for the Bundesliga. And an entertaining 3-0 draw against St. Pauli. Chateau Backyard. Svetsa. Kind of like Fabricio now, but well, those are going with us things. But Man City goes 3-0 up at home. Final. And through 3-0. Don't think he'll be the only one. But then and around the Etihad to what is going on. That was ringing with that particular memory. By Donnarumma, and it was fouled. No, he's one like the judge is playing lots of minutes, going 1 or 2 of the Souths back to him. I would have seen Shaki. Also receive Bernardo Silva. I'm not sure about that. So the quadruple change like choose who's counterpart was seen that bit happening. But didn't see an eye to it at the moment. And every chance you can see just played in between the two. Then I ups. Oh, it's making it a back train again. Sort about Svetsen. Had I get dinger. When I was speaking for running the river, had I have it. And that's over the top. Julio Maria said, might be done better with that. Well, I think he should have gone with his head and maybe any aiming. I think he was trending level. He plays the ball now. I think he should have been the favourite to get there. I think he knows what he's got to go with his heads. Getting away with it. Dive forward. much better chance of scoring. Sitting around it, search have the capacity to be awkward for Manchester City. The took to the air, somewhere to find another. Chepreneka. And I think Sancho at Bennigan. Hits his own Chukwuemeka, and I'm not sure going to get close to point to the AB. Bellingham and Gross are going to be that little bit deeper. No, Gross made 1 or 2 forward runs. Thanks. Sets it to Gross, and back in the menu. And the lap boy said, dead darts on John Stones. The bit is all his way to fall. He made a bit of a mess of it, had he already. Pulling has been given, the ball went out. Big chance. Here Rumpton goes, lovely comeback. All he's left up. I think he hits it better. Was scuffs the shot, which hits those. Oh, it's going to be exciting here. Another goal. We really would have a camera that ends. We're set to take their Dortmund corner. 3 out, which is away. Hands on to the post, they're getting a second, but here comes Dortmund now for Manchester City. Back to Bandanat out on. This is Pascal Hurst. Having a right jump go ahead for us here a little bit. So a time to call for defensive round. That's right, send the phone with Ruda Diaz. There they go. Through the Abaye move. Done under that came out, but City were going to take the chance. Come on to back. Joe the Pentagon. Nello Kama. Santos Savinia. Just something he said to the assistant referee. For the assistant referee got it his mind. Hopes he said something to him, which he did boy. Not much the assistant. He was good at throwing on by him as well. The assistant did nothing wrong. He was in the right place. Quite right. He got a yellow card. I did Serena. And that's going to be his last contribution here. Ken Sires Shaq took us at an injury event start to the season. Starting his first Premier League match at the weekend. The fresh rid. On comes Bernardo Silva as well. A little big smear and sent on from Manchester City to so just a little bit choppy. This Os Barras on. So Thar's trying to toss the back as it stands here for Manchester City. There they go, yes, Stones. The test through near on the right of the defence. They draw the right, is still on the left. Diggy is going to die. Midfield 4, he's split on the left hand side of that midfield 4. Dario just at the post to get that. The big Paris have had a touch right back up. Done it by John Sanchez. But you had to win. Like he most certainly did. Looked to stop, but it was his fault. He's hesitated. And the Dortmund play got there first. That's why we found the Dortmund up. As he goes to go another, let's set. We see some just land. Strong defensive, not that by Emery Shah. And he was second best here, but played a very good shot in Chelsea. That was an excellent one. And then he started the attack. Here's the pass. If it hit his right foot, he took another touch and runs it out of play. He should have hit it with his right foot. Fabio Silva. The latest introduced Adeyemi's races run. I think a particularly good first half was probably better than the second half. Adeyemi. They played by the two good moments. Yeah, but sorry, Anton Noel, we've had the two best opportunities, arguably. By the match, Svensson. Shagra down. So Otterbeck. Maria said. This one's ball, man. Fabio Silva, Dortmund came and did it. And he certainly did it. I think his was outside him. I like Dortmund. I missed his spun action. Maybe a sight. You've not from Fabio Silva on John Stones. Well, Dortmund don't have to think back too far already. The match they won at end of Juventus when they took a true attrition into added time at the end of the match and ended up having to share the points. The old lady of Italian football, things can change very quickly. They will keep on coming. ChampionsLeague. This is Chuck and better now. Yes, sir. Anton. And it's not obviously Manchester City University draw back five with more midfield players. Just trying to in front of them. Desperate attack on here. 2-goal advantage. On my move. Show's going to get a win out. So there we are. The remaining minutes here. Shuttle back down. Really sick. Svensson trying to get the touch. And only guys couldn't bring it where. Further the cell. Why view the town of Manchester City behind. Now Silva trying all the way back to the goalkeeper. Start the move. See if they can dominate the possession again, which has been the case in the last 15 minutes. Shot genuine. Looking back and Dortmund expanded it now. It's the back. And then through to a challenge from Miguel Ronaldo, which also med Eurocard. I ChampionsLeague. Like Nairobi. Så det går an from past didn't have enough ways of it, did it? Here is the challenge. He just stretches it, starts to show it, so the referee absolutely right he did. Just a long goal today, down for handling Ireland. And the Turks so serious as how they thought to have a country on the 22nd. So as champions, they tell you the 33rd Stewart, Fritz Hope's successor, game in the UCLAction chapter, and so as that thing is unfortunately sure it was a goal in me on his left foot, just swerves his foot rather hits it with pace and putt on. Well, he might keep what as you are now. I'm very sure you know there's song about German football from his time at the Bundesliga. Showing to January for my chat Frankfurt. And he's still building his way up. And to full fitness after had 7 games on the sidelines. It's the successive game now in which he's featured. Fabio Silva, the guy says, come back to Ruben Diaz. Still looking on the goalkeeper. Oh, we like to find out exactly what the nature of Rodri's absence tonight was. Shame of him and featured not too tough that he did the weekend. Not involved at all today. Can he be involved at the weekend against Liverpool? Still when you've had that injury like he had, it does take a little time to get back to your best, and stuck it out the little injuries. Oh, that's just such as you're about to play that. Swenson has got it through to Chukwuemeka. Fabio Silva couldn't bring it under his spell. And then he's had the substitutions, he's tried to change the gap to affect the game. He's done it to a certain degree. I think it's been helped by Man City. And did a bit shoddy when they went 3-0 up. Docker gave the penalty away, chipped in on a couple of occasions, but Padilla went mad on the side of the fit. It's the one issue they've had this season, and that's not always cost them the result in matches. A little bit of Villarreal when they gave the opponents in Tower translates on, although Villarreal typically on one back. Think of their defeat early on this season at Brighton, where they were complete control of the game and failed to manage it. It's part of the evolution, I guess, of this new enough team under Pat Guardiola without so many of the familiar names that help him to the treble a couple of seasons back mountain. Well, they also had an air of invincibility, so it seems didn't really want to come out and press them, almost wanted damage imitation. They were down against Man City. It's not quite the case at the moment. Or in that also be coming back to form, and Harmer scoring almost every week. And they kind of fell in momentary lapses, different than Sassamat Fleeway, which is don't mind the look a big try the result they've done here tonight. Last minute of the 19th hour. Then Rashad. Anton. Lovely tap. And then a free check. There's some pushing it to the back. Yeah, there'll be a bit of skill for him. Checky. And I think around a Nuri there who would come on to Nigel and Miley. Nuri is on the ball here. It's up by for Bernardo Silva. There we go in the 4 minutes of added time. But they've done what for the last 20 minutes. The Rishi at Dortmund have been on the front foot. They've not knew what threat. I don't know what comes up like again. Pass it into the box as well. To the now, the Tadivas Fadna will take care of business. Yeah, it's Jurgen. Both the back, so much but says the sitting. Oh, what a good goal this is. Not just the fitting. The dynamic ran with the blue. Realising where the space was, the replay here picks up the ball. Goes past Barrion way too easily. He takes a slight deflection as he does every charge as the player comes up. But really poor defending from the Barrion. Very good finish from the substitute on his right foot. Helped by deflection. And that is game over now. I enjoyed that. Had a bit needed dart. Helping Manchester City across the line. His first goal in this season's ChampionsLeague. No, I'm sorry, I can just relax. Quite enjoy things. For the first time, really, since Dortmund filled that goal back to where the ball lands on. But that was the point we thought they'd enjoy it. When they went 3-0 up and they started to be a little bit complacent. So power to rest, got caught on the ball, and so they gave Dortmund that bit of encouragement. 10 points out of a possible 12. Manchester City will be sitting pretty in the table as it stands up to fourth. Dortmund. That's first defeat of the season won't cause them too much damage. Plenty of opportunity for them to put that right. We're only up to all at the halfway point of this league phase. Still 4 games to play after this. Mid-table in 32th position. Plenty to ponder off, but those crowds have been fantastic, haven't they, behind the goal around right hand side. It's coming their numbers, they make lots of noise. Really has made it, that's really inside the stadium. They're singing against City trying to stand there in the pressure. Building blocks being put in place off the pitch, and so too on it. That was Manchester City continuing their evolution at the new upside. What happened there? Manchester City side, they always say it's such a good pass away from them, but always when City play.